Hello everyone. In the previous lectures, we saw the theory of rasa, aucitya and alaṅkāra. In this lecture, we are going to see the theory of guna. What is guna? The Sanskrit word guna literally means poetic merit. Although it is Bhamaha's alaṅkāra that marked a systematic enquiry into the body of kavya and the aspects related to its ontology, some references to the concept of gunas can be found in the literary works written even before Bhamaha's alaṅkāra. A case in point is the Ramayana, where the poet very clearly states the response of the listeners to the story of Rama sung by Lava and Kusha. Here, listening to the song of Rama sung by Lava and Kusha, the audience says that the rendition sounded sweet or madhurya to them. We will soon see that madhurya or sweetness is the quality or guna that literary theoreticians are going to list in their treatises on poetics. Similarly, while listening to the story of Rama, the audience felt that the past events that the song was narrating were taking place right in front of their eyes. This quality of a poem to present a past event in such a manner that it is happening right in front of their eyes is the quality called bhavika, which Bamaha is going to talk about in the 7th century. Similarly, in the Kishkinda Kanda of Ramayana, Rama greatly appreciates the speech of Hanuman. He says that the speech of Hanuman is endowed with some poetic merits. According to Rama, it was neither ambiguous nor verbose. It was brief and precise without compromising on the quality of the clarity of meaning. He says that Hanuman's speech was avistaram asanniktham. It was neither ambiguous but clear in meaning. Kautilya also talks about the gunas in his Arthashastra in connection with his discussions about lekha or political dispatches. According to Kautilya, a political letter should have the following 3 gunas, namely arthakrama, sambandha and paripurnata. He collectively calls these gunas artha sambat or the wealth of meaning. Let's take a look at these 3 qualities one by one in detail. Arthakrama is the order and method of presentation. The subject that the author wants to convey should clearly be presented. The ideas should follow a logical order with proper emphasis on chief ideas. The second quality is sambandha. This guna called sambandha represents coherence, relevancy, etc. of the several ideas that make a subject. There should not be any mutual or internal contradiction in the ideas presented. It also emphasizes how the idea should look like as a coherent whole or unity. The last quality is paripurnata. This is the idea of completeness. Kautilya presents 3 kinds of completeness. The first one is the completeness with respect to meaning and the letters forming a particular word. The second one is the development of the idea and its enriching exposition by arguments, illustrations and analogies. This definition is available in Dr. Raghavan's History of Gunas. The third kind of paripurnata is not very clear. He may be trying to refer to the lack of ineffective expressions. Towards the end of the same discussion, Kautilya also talks about lekha doshas or the faults or blemishes of lekha. These blemishes that Kautilya mentions include akandi, vyakhada, punirukti, apashabda and samplava. Akandi is the lack of elegance coming out of a poor style of the scribe. Vyakhada is the fault coming out of the lack of coherence of ideas. Punirukti is the repetition of ideas and words. Apashabda is a grammatical mistake. The last dosha that Kautilya mentions, that is Samplava, is a flaw pertaining to the meter or to the writing of the letter as explained by the commentaries. Makha in his Shishupala Vatha mentions two qualities, namely prasada and ojas. By ojas, Makha means flaring up, and by prasada he means quietening effect. Raghavan's observation is noteworthy in this respect. He says, though Makha was earlier to the time of the theoretical determination of the exact nature of guna, he, as a poet, grasped the real nature of gunas. In the realm of dramaturgy, it was Bharata who had first talked about the idea of poetic merits. Bharata defined gunas as the absence of doshas. He said that gunas like madhurya come from the absence of doshas. Bharata was also the first one to say that gunas had to be coordinated with rasa. Bharata, in chapter 17 of Natyashastra, talks about the gunas. He enumerates 10 gunas. These 10 gunas mentioned by Bharata include Shlesha, Prasada, Samada, Samadhi, Madhurya, Ojas, Saukumarya, Arthavyakti, Udarata and Kanti. Let's take a look at all these gunas in detail. Shlesha is the seamless combination of words that signify elegant meanings. If the combination of these words is so seamless that we feel that it is a single word, we can assume that this quality called Shlesha is present there. Prasada is that quality where one understands the Shabda and Artha without any repetition. Bharata mentions three things as the characteristic marks of the quality called Samata. First, the words are not too short. Second, the meaning is properly conveyed. And finally, the meaning is easy to be comprehended. The third guna is called Samadhi. If the meaning of the verse is so elegant that the scholars find it non-ordinary, then we can assume that the verse contains the quality called Samadhi. The quality of a verse to remain sweet even after many repetitions is called Madhurya. A composition that has a lot of compounds and elegant and unique words is said to have the quality called ojas. If the compounds are so seamlessly made that it creates a lot of ease in pronunciation, then it is called Saukumarya. Arthavyakti is the clarity of expression achieved by the employment of familiar words and expressions. Udarata is the ability to present rasas like Sringara. This is achieved by the arrangement of words. The ability of a poem to entertain the readers is called Kanti. Bamaha did not give much importance to gunas. He did not even name them gunas. His discussion of gunas was limited to Madhurya and Prasada, the two gunas that Bharata had already mentioned in Natyashastra. But Bhamaha did not consider them to be essential qualities of a kavya. Bhamaha mentions only three gunas, namely Madhurya, Prasada and Ojas. Among the three, Ojas is not mentioned by its name. From Bhamaha's observations about a quality characterized by the presence of compounds, we need to arrive at the conclusion that he is talking about the guna called Ojas. Raghavan's observation is noteworthy in this context. According to him, this fact of Bhamaha mentioning only three gunas has no relation to the later theory of gunas being only three as a corollary of the theory of gunas as rasa dharmas established by Anandavardhana. But it seems to embody a tradition of gunas being three and not 10. Let's take a look at Bhamaha's definitions of these three gunas. According to Bhamaha, a kavya that has madhurya is sweet to hear and it is not overloaded with samasa or compounds. Bhamaha says that shravyatva, or the quality of being soothing to the ears, and the absence of compounds are the two characteristic marks of Madhurya. Anandavardhana in Dhvanyaloka later criticizes this view of Bhamaha. Ananda says that shravyatva, or the quality of being sweet to the ear, is not a virtue that is found only in Madhurya. It can be found in the quality called ojas also. If the meaning of a poem is understood easily by boys and women as easily as it is understood by a learned man, then we can say that the poem has the quality called prasada. Bhamaha is of the view that both these gunas, that is Madhurya and prasada, will go hand in hand since they do not have profuse compounds. Ojas is liked by only some people and it has profuse samasas in it. Bhamaha also speaks of a guna called bhavika. What is bhavika? Bhavika is a quality that pervades the whole prabandha or the whole work. This is a quality which the poet achieves by presenting the ideas of the past and the present so vividly that these actions look like happening in the present. Bhamaha says, Bhavika is a quality that belongs to a composition as a whole. In it, the transactions of the past and of the future are described vividly, that is, as if happening or taking place before one's eyes. From this, we can say for certain that Bhamaha's discussion of guna is very meager, but soon we will see a paradigm shift in the treatment of gunas when we see Dandin's discussion of gunas in his famous Kavyadarsha. We will discuss Dandin's idea of gunas in Kavyadarsha in the next class. I hope the lessons that we discussed so far are clear to you. I will wrap up this class by summarizing all the major points that we discussed so far. We saw that Bharata's Natyashastra is the first text to talk about the idea of guna in Sanskrit poetics. In Natyashastra, Bharata mentions 10 gunas, namely Shlesha, Prasada, Samadha, Samadhi, Madhurya, Ojas, Saukumarya, Arthavyakti, Udarata and Kanti. Shlesha is the seamless combination of words that signify elegant meanings. Prasada is that quality where one understands the Shabda and Artha without any repetition. Bharata mentions 3 things as the characteristic marks of the quality called Samatha. First, the words are not too short. Second, the meaning is properly conveyed. And finally, the meaning is easy to be comprehended. The third guna, Samadhi, is attained if the meaning of the verse is so elegant that the scholars find it non-ordinary. The quality of a verse to remain sweet even after many repetitions is called Madhurya. A composition that has a lot of compounds and elegant and unique words is said to have the quality called Ojas. If the compounds are so seamlessly made that it creates a lot of ease in pronunciation, then it is called Saukumarya. Arthavyakti is the clarity of expression achieved by the employment of familiar words and expressions. Udarata is the ability to present rasas like Sringara. This is achieved by the arrangement of words. The ability of a poem to entertain the readers is called Kanti. Though Bharata mentioned 10 gunas, Bharata's successor, Bhamaha, reduced the number of rasas to 3. The 3 gunas mentioned by Bhamaha include Madhurya, Ojas and Prasada. In addition to these 3 gunas, Bhamaha also mentioned a quality called Bhavika. Madhurya is sweet to hear and it is not overloaded with samasa or compounds. If the meaning of a poem is understood easily by boys and women, as easily as it is understood by a learned man, then we can say that the poem has the quality called prasada. Ojas, which is lacked by only some people, has profuse samasas or compounds in it. Bhavika is a quality that belongs to a composition as a whole. In it, the transactions of the past and of the future are described vividly, that is, as if taking place before one's eyes. These are the major points that we need to keep in our mind with respect to the first lesson. I hope you have understood all the major points. Thank you.